I'm thankful to Ravindran that he has been able to sum up some of the things I have said before, and I don't have to go into all the details of what I told you last time. Some of you have come for the first time here. As he said, tantra is a technique. It's a technique, and yantra in Sanskrit language means the mechanics. So the technique of the mechanics. Now what is this mechanism we are talking about? Is there any mechanism outside or inside us? Or is it worked through some subtle method? All these questions should come to our mind if you are thinking and if you are thinking. But I feel that in the West, people though are very much developed material, they have sorted out many material questions and problems. They are very well equipped. But as far as the spiritual life is concerned, they are very nice. Though they have such a great personality like Christ to follow, or what the modern is called, but maybe because of an organized religion, perhaps, it was not possible for people who were thinking truly spiritually into it through meditative work. So this tantra was a technique which works out our self-realization is to be known, to be understood fully. And the yantra that works out, you have already got unconsciously that this who has made a huge mistake of that yantra, which is divinity. It's the instrument which is divinity. But when we think of an instrument with our human mind, we cannot think of an instrument which is a living instrument. It is beyond our conception to understand a living instrument. This one is a living instrument within us. When we see such a starting out of a small vehicle, working out blossoming, one has to know that there must be some technique or some mechanism that works out this beautiful dream process. And when we evolve from amoeba to this stage, we have to say there must be some mechanism which thinks, understands, organizes, loves, which has brought about this human being from that amoeba. In the ancient India, long time, people have had lots of time. They went into themselves, into their being, to meditation, understanding. They had a glimpse of this mechanism. And they talked about it and wrote about it. And that's how this yantra, the mechanism, and the tantra, the maneuvering of it, the technique of it, came into this. But it was a secret science. It was a very secret science, and it was kept hidden from general public. It was used by very few great masters who lived in the jungle, had one or two disciples, worked on them for years together, and taught them about the technique of it. They had to leave everything, their family, everyone, live with the Guru, lead a complete celibate life, and go into a complete transformation under the guidance of their loving Guru. This was in the ancient times. And what did they achieve and what did they have is all written in our books. What we expect after self-realization is written in the Bible, in the Quran, in the Torah, and also in all the Indian philosophy. Only difference may be that in some of these scriptures it is written in a very secretive manner. Under some words that I will appear before you as tongues of flame. Now, nobody knows what tongues of flame is. There are so many sentences which you can find out now if you go and read, which nobody can explain unless and until they have had an experience of Kundalini. This is the yantra, the mechanism is the Kundalini. Is a living force within you, it exists, it is there, it's placed for your realization, for your jumping into another awareness which is promised to you through various mysteries, through various incarnations. It is within you, nobody told you lies, there is nothing but truth written in these books. But it was to be guarded, it was to be made into secret because people would have used it for their purpose. And they have, despite all of it. First, I would like to speak about self-realization, because that is blissful. And then I'll tell you about the so-called tantra. I have to talk about it, though I have told about these things in the previous lecture, because there are new cases I can see. I have now shown here all the centers and all the mechanisms that is within us. They have also given you a picture of that. I have told you which are the deities sitting on all these different chakras, as we call the centers, which have incarnated on this earth, have built up our being one by one gradually in different evolutionary processes, and how we have become human beings, this I have told you last time. This is the yantra, and the mechanism that is this yantra, Kundalini, is a holy mechanism. And this mechanism is specially created within the being of the vast man, or the vast being, the maximum. And we are the cell, all of us, in that. We were made aware as fishes of the soil. We became reptiles. We were made aware of the food available at the height. We raised our heads. Gradually we became human beings. After this stage, we started thinking of God. We started thinking of something beyond. Man is the only animal who thinks of God and of searching. Is the man aware that he has to become something? Why is he so confused? Why is he under so tension? What is he saying? He is searching something of which he has a glimpse. A glimpse of that joy he gets it. And that joy comes from himself, Atma, in his heart. He has not felt it. He has not been able to manifest the power of himself. But there is a mechanism placed within him, properly built inside. All the time present in all the human beings. Just like this, as it is placed in the vast field, in his image, it is also placed within him. As I said last time, that you are all built to be just like computers. Now the job is to put you to the means. That's why you are here. That's the only urge you have in life. All other urges are actually the side effects. You think you are searching in money, in position, is a myth. Those who have money are dissatisfied, those who have money, positions are dissatisfied, everybody is dissatisfied. The satisfaction can only come to you when you will reach the real thing which you are searching. And the real thing is yourself and nothing. All other things are useless because you are not searching anything else. You are only searching yourself. And that self is the reflection of God Almighty. That is within your heart. Now the mechanism that is placed within you is this beautiful thing inside, which is placed inside your spinal cord and not outside. Except for the last chakra, which is in the red color, that is outside, in the prostate. And this is a very, very important chakra which controls the cervical within us. I'm sorry, the pelvic plexus within us. It is very important because it is very sensitive. And also, it is very delicate because it is placed outside the spinal cord. This mechanism that is placed outside the spinal cord, down below there, is the most important chakra and was created first. When the creation started, this was the first thing that was created. And what does it emit? Holiness. Innocence. It emits innocence. And the deity sitting on it is the embodiment of innocence. This deity was created in another dimension, and he is, you have seen there, is Sri Ganesha. This is the image of Sri Ganesha that was created. At that stage, and what does it represent? Is the stage between the animal and the man. And the head is that of the animal, showing that an animal does not have an ego. That the man is different from an animal. That the animal is innocent. He doesn't know what is sin, that's why he is innocent. Because you know what is sin, that's why you are innocent, but you can become defiled or damaged. He is innocence personified. He is celibacy. And he incarnates too. On this earth, he incarnated as Lord Jesus Christ. He took his form as Lord Jesus Christ, and because he is innocent, he is made of that essence of divine nature of God that we call as Paramatma, the highest essence of God, and that's why his body is also made out of that, and that's the reason he could resurrect. By reading Bible, which was written by the disciples of Christ, how far can you go to understand him? Because he was created beyond your thoughts, beyond your mind, in an unlimited, unconscious. And how can you with your limited mind understand him of complexity? It is said that even Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh cannot reach him. He is so pure. He is pure. He is enough. And he exists at that point. And it is he at every point, every chakra, he bestows upon you the blessings of innocence. Innocence was the first thing created on this earth. Before creating anything else, it was innocence all everywhere. And he bestows that innocence by which you get yourself right. On the left-hand side of this mechanism, there are 7 strata. On the right-hand side, there are 7 strata. Down below, there are 7 strata, and on top, there are 7 strata. What are these strata, and what do they mean? The left-hand side chakra, the left-hand side channel, which is called as Ira channel, represents the subconscious mind within. You listen to me through your conscious mind and put it back into the subconscious. All your experiences go into the subconscious. That is the limit of your subconscious of present. Beyond that goes is your subconscious of previous life, and beyond that goes is the collective subconscious. When you listen to me, you have got a conscious mind which receives it at this moment, and there is a pre-conscious mind which takes it to the subconscious. This pre-conscious mind is on the right hand side. This also has got 7 stratas on this side. Just now the pre-conscious mind is the future that you are thinking about. Beyond that is the supraconscious mind, means all the ideas about future you have had before, many lives before. Those ideas are there. And beyond that is the collective supraconscious. So, on the left-hand side, you have subconscious and the collective subconscious. On the right-hand side, supraconscious and the collective supraconscious. Down below are the 7 stratas of hell. H-E-L-L. Sometimes the words are so small that it doesn't register. If I say supraconscious, then people say, Mataji has said something. But hell. And hell is the truth. It exists within us. It is there. And there are 7 stratas of that also. Conscious mind also has got 7 stratas, which are built in within us through our different evolutionary processes. And these are the 7 stratas which are placed here of the conscious mind. And then you go on top of the head into superconscious mind, which is the subtle mind, is the eternal mind, the unconscious, in which you have to move in 7 stratas. You say, Mataji, is too much. But it's not. You are already built in for that. For example, if I tell this light, you have to get enlightened and cover the whole hall. It will say, oh, it's too much. No, it is built there. You have to just press the button, it opens and goes. Because it is built that way, has been organized that way, is placed that way, that is what. When we think that it is difficult, we think we have to do it, and that's why we are worried. You don't have to. It's already done. And it will be done also by the one who is organizing it. Only thing what you have to do is to witness. The one who has created this universe. Were you there? The one who has created all the greenery, then human beings, were you there? He is the one who is going to do this for you, and the time has come, as Naveen has said it beautifully, that the blossom time has come and it will work out. But it's surprising, human beings sometimes I cannot understand. When I told them that it is going to work out, they said, how can it be? It has to be difficult. Before even starting about it, must you sit down with this idea on your head, oh, it's going to be very difficult? I say, it is the easiest and the simplest thing, being so important, it cannot be difficult. Anything important, like your breathing, if it becomes difficult, and if you have to read about breathing, how am I to breathe? Now you go in the books and see. Now you have to do like this. By the time you take the book, you are out. If you have to read about your self-realization, then God says the self-realization and God says it. Is your right that you are going to get your self-realization? I am not pampering your ego. But that's how you are being made. Even your ego, which you are condemning every morning and evening, was an essential part of this feast. Only you, the human beings, have evolved the ego to know something on them. So this mechanism was made specially in such a manner that through your ego and your superego, you have become an I personality. Like you can say, this is Mr. Kumar, this is X, this is Y. You become a separate identity from that big vast personality of which you are separate. And the consciousness of that comes to you, that you are a separate identity and you have to see the oneness with that. And that is what is self-realization. Nothing else. That you become that, not what you do, but is the becoming of that. Like you say, a seed becomes a flower. It becomes a flower. You don't, the seed doesn't go and read a book, oh, I know what it is. Or it doesn't listen to any lecture of Mataji or anything. It just becomes a flower. In the same way, you have to become that and not just to be brainwashed or to be done something else, which I will tell you later how horrible things you can do in the name of self-realization. So many of them are aware of it, so they know that. Now what happens? What is the mechanism, how it works out? Let us see the positive side of it, and then I will tell you the negative side. There is a Kundalini placed in that triangular bone there. You can see it. Pulsate. We have a doctor here. He will say that. Yes. You can see the pulsation of the Kundalini very clearly. You can see the rising of the Kundalini very clearly with your naked eye. You can also feel it coming up. It comes. How it comes, how it works out, is another detailed program, which I may be able to tell you later on, or I have already told quite a lot about it. This comes up, the Kundalini, and pierces your fontanelle bone, pierces. What is this Kundalini? It is a residual force within it. Is awareness which understands things, loves and organizes is that energy. Now we cannot think, human beings cannot think of an energy that can think, love, organize. We cannot. This is the energy that comes up. You can see the pulsation. You can see the breathing of it with your naked eye. That's what you can believe. It comes up and pierces your fontanelle bone, and you can feel the baptism that you become like a child because your fontanelle bone becomes very soft. But that doesn't mean that if you have a soft bone here, that doesn't mean that you are a self-realized person. No. When you enter, not on left side or right hand side, but when you enter onto the top, onto the first strata of the super consciousness, then what happens? First thing that should happen to you is that you become one with the collective being. You become, again I say, it is not lecturing. We are all brothers and sisters. There should be no racism. All this is lecturing. I am not saying lecturing, it becomes how? When this thing enters through this into that subtle form, you start feeling from your hand a cool breeze through it. This is described in our scriptures. If you read even Christ said something passed out of my body when somebody touched me. But in our scriptures it's given very, very clearly. In some of them, for example, I would say Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya has described them as Saundarya Lahari. He calls it as Saundarya Lahari force. He calls them vibrations. People are talking of vibration, but they don't know what they are talking. These vibrations that flow from your hand are cool vibrations. And also they understand and think and feel other people. When you put your hands over another person, you start suddenly getting a burning here. Left hand side, burning on this finger is the Vishuddhi Chakra, is this one. Now if you know the deity who is there, and if you take the name of that particular deity who is sitting here, if you know, and if you are a realized soul, then only. If you are not realized, you have no authority. You have no authority to take to any mantra unless and until you are a realized soul. Supposing I give you some mantra, you must know it is a misleading. Because whatever is the center in danger or in trouble, you must get that one. The one who is not a realized soul cannot make out what is the problem, where is the problem. And the one who is not realized, if he is given the mantra, his mantra has no authority. Like if I want to go as tutor, I must take her permission, I must have some connection with her, I should be able to go and meet her. But if I go and meet her place and say, oh Queen, come along. The way we call God sometimes is most surprising. We wouldn't even call any servant like that, the way we call him. God, come along, do this. This is my problem. What are you doing for me? I have faith in God. As if we are putting obligations. As if he is obliged to us. Oh, I have faith in God, Mother. Then why did he listen? You have faith. I mean, he exists. It's eternal truth. If you have faith in that, you are glorified, not he. You can add to his faith. Any mantra is given to you just by reading Tom and Harry. Anyone coming, I am giving mantra. I am going to tell you about them later on. All those mantras that are said are about the deity, were done by the gurus, as I told you in ancient times, for very few people. They used to raise the Kundalini very gradually. They used to take it from that seat, which is the Muladhara, not the Muladhara chakra, from that triangular bone, and they used to raise it one by one. For 7 years, it used to hang into one center. Then they would give one mantra, all right, now go on with it. Work it out. Then sit. Do it. Then again, another. Then again, another. All right. It has been done like that. Very slow process. As in India, you see, they said that when they had to go to Kashi or Banaras, they used to sell off their houses, everything. And they knew that they may never return. Or even if they go, they might take so many years to reach Banaras that by that time they will be absolutely old people and they would not have energy to fight. Now if you have to go to Banaras, only thing what you can do is to go from here to Delhi and take a plane and go back. So that time is over, and Kundalini now can be worked out just like that, because the time has come for you to come. There were never so many seekers in the world before, I can tell you. Only people who existed in the name of religion were orthodox, rabid, horrible people who crucified Christ, who killed Muhammad Shah, who tortured Dhameswara, who tortured Kabira, who tortured of all the things Shankaracharya. Buddha, Mahavira, you read any one of them. All these horrid people in the name of religion tortured. And today we have got these satanic people coming out of that, when they have suffered their, see, they were punished, and after their punishment they are coming out with a double force, with a new subtler method of befooling you people. In self-realization, you get peace, complete tranquility, the collective consciousness, and you can maneuver this power yourself. It is your power that is manifested and nobody else. But as you have been to all these satanic people, most of you have been, last time I saw them. And when I told them, they tried, yes, I'm working very hard, you know, they're working very hard. But some of them have really spoiled their path of Sushumna, the central path. So badly they have spoiled it, that unless and until they give up all that, it's not going to work. If you are truly seeking, I am there to work for you. You don't have to pay any money for it, no. Never think of that. Because this is divine, and divine cannot be sold in the market. First it that should come into your head as Christians, especially, that Christ had taken a hunter in his hand and started beating those people, that the only time he really lost his temper on them when they were selling the religion. And today all of them are selling it. And you very, very humbly go and bow. All kinds of these beggars and parasites have come in this country and all over the Western countries. They are nothing but beggars, take it from me. Worse than beggars, they are worse culprits. So this is what self-realization is, and in self-realization you get all these blessings of God. Gradually you go into thoughtless awareness, and then into doubtless awareness, which we call nirvikalpa, and then into self-realization. In that, we have some people in India, they have met them, who are completely self-realized, and who sitting down there can work out the Kundalini for them. They are living in the family. They have got their children, they have got their grandchildren, and they are working with them. You don't have to run away from it. No extremes are needed. Nothing. It is within you, and within you it is going to work out. These outside things and these extreme things are not needed. Just be normal people. God has created this world for you to enjoy. It is for your enjoyment. It is blessings that you have to feel through self-realization. When the light of the self goes, you see the joy. So, you see it pouring from your head downwards, and you are just drenched. All your tensions go, all your problems go away. The ego and superego, which is shown here as the black and the yellow, both of them open up, and you see it going down. It happens. There is an imbalance, there is some sort of a hurt in you. Sometimes I can say there could be a very grave wound into you. Could be there are some spines sitting in you. Could be that you are possessed without knowing that you are possessed. You don't know how these people have maneuvered, and I hope I will be able to tell you now how they have maneuvered and what sort of horrid people they are. I think I should take off my shoes for that. Looks out better. So, about these horrid people now. In India, since long, if you say the origin of so-called tantrism, which is juxtaposition of real tantra, which is sahaja, of the genuine stuff. If tantrism is to be considered as a genuine stuff, then it is sahaja. But the tantrism, the so-called, came into being in our country since long. Ancient times, when these gurus were having those few disciples with them. 3-4 disciples were taken with great difficulty. But they were, after all, human beings. There used to be competition. And Guru would accept only one out of them, or 2 out of them. Would take them a little ahead and would then give them up, saying that, no, we cannot teach you anymore, you cannot be helped, you better go. Such a useless, half-baked person would come down to the public and would start a method by which he would put up a show against his students. This is the beginning, I would say. So he would now sit down and meditate. Still, as a mother, I don't want to condemn all of them. I will give them a benefit of doubt. And the benefit of doubt is this, that when they were concentrating, they tried to lift into their Muladhara chakra, which you cannot enter in, which is below the Kundalini. this Muladhara Chakra controls the sex. Why? Because it is innocent. It's a child. And the child doesn't understand sex, that's why it is not contaminated by it. It is like a lotus coming out of the mud of sex. In that lotus sits Sri Ganesha. These people try to peep into that, thinking that through sex they might be able to see it. And they might have seen, this is my own way of putting it, not him completely but his trunk as you see. And they might have confused, still I say, that trunk to be the Kundalini. When I tried to understand human beings, I thought this may happen, because how could man be just entering into hell directly with all understanding? It's too much to believe. So by mistake maybe that they saw this. Alright? So first the Tantrikas came. Tantrikas were the first. Then we have Tantrikas, basically I'm telling you, these evil geniuses are in different. You see, you cannot divide them into all details, but you can give a basic, broad outline about it. The Tantrikas are the people who use sex for so-called self-realization. Mantrikas are the people who use mantras for so-called self-realization. Then there are Chandalikas who use evil geniuses to be introduced as evil spirits into human beings, called as Chandalikas. Then Paishachikas are the people who used supra-conscious devils into human beings, over-dynamic, over-ambitious sort of people. We have got Aghoris who taught them to put, say, they can put a dragon into their hand. Aghoris. Then we have got Dighars. Dighars are the people who can do horrible gestures. You see, they can pull their stomach in, push it here, push it there, all sorts of things they do. And we have also sexo-yoga, minimum. I have categorized them as that. But I don't know how many styles of things there are, because when it comes to evil, they come and prosper like fish. Viruses, and they know how to eat you. They themselves are destroyed and they cannot see you constructed. They cannot see you evolve. That is one of the basic reasons where they are out as all these. So the Tantrikas first started their job. In the Rama's time, say about 12,000 years back, there was a yajna, a kind of a ceremony known as Ashwamedha. It's written in the books about that. Even that, the books, the scriptures they wrote by saying that Ashwamedha was nothing else but the sex act. The Shakti and Shiva, which is God who is innocent, and his power is Shakti, like light and the lamp, or the sun, or the sunlight. There also they introduced the symbol of sex. This happened in the 6th century. It was at its height in our country. A complete belt was taken. Say it starts from Konark. It goes to Khajuraho. So much so they were influenced people that all other scriptures were thrown into the river and Tantrism became the scripture of the day. Thank God by organized religion at least you would not allow people to tamper too much with body, though it was, but not too much. It would happen. There is so much freedom that licentiousness to do whatever you please with that scripture. Can you imagine? From the scriptures they started spoiling in the 6th century. Now what was the historical background for that? That was the best time, best breeding time of these horrible people. Because at that time Arjuna had very extreme type of orthodox people. Jainis. Now we have a sect of people called as Jainis now. Now, I mean, all of them are, but one of them, horrible things I can tell you, that they believe in vegetarianism. To such an extent, it's horrible thing to tell you, because I've already told Ravi that for the first time I'll be shameless to tell you that they do not want to destroy even the insects that are in the field. To them an insect, so that lots of bugs can bite him and take out his blood and they save him a lot of money. In the fact, even today they do sometimes in a village. They think it's a great punya, it's the greatest, what you say for punya in English? It's a good deed. You see, religious deed is to make a man get inside a hut and but must come and take the blood. So these Jainis, so-called vegetarian horrors, they were the ministers who wrote it. Some are the became ministers. So, and the Maharajas, you know the word Rajas are the king, were the Hindus. And Hindus as usual are very different to religion. Whatever one may say about India, I agree it's a very great country and all that. But Hindus, he says they are even worse, because now they all have become English. You see? With English education, all of them have become English, westernized. They don't think we have anything in our country. So, that time, the great Rajas, who are so indifferent to religion, to their sustaining power, to understand what is in their scriptures, licentious and permissive like your Roman kings, horribly licentious, wanted to put their money into some sort of an arrangement for all the licentious people around. So they thought of a great genius. Build the temple of God and make all kinds of erotic pictures in the temple. Can you beat that thing? In the name of art, if art is pure and simple, why do you need this vulgarity? Horrible erotic scenes were created through big competitions. Now you are having competitions in this country, but that time, of course, now you are also becoming tantrikas as far as erotic scenes are concerned. One better than the other. And they were given special prizes, even jazis, as they call them, grants were given to those people. It's written in the history. For creating those victims, despite that, despite all that provocation, and despite all that temptation, will be amazed in Munara that art is defied. They said, we are not going to do this simple thing. It's not. We are not going to do it. On a temple, we are not going to do it. So these clever, intelligent people, they told us that if you do this, it will be good. Because all the dirt that is here should be placed there. And inside should be clean. Outside we must confess to God that we are like this. This is a confession. See the brain. This is a confession you must make what all dirty things you are doing, you put them out. This was the historical side behind it. And that time these tantrikas were, absolutely participating. You have only one Soho. We had Sohos and Sohos and Sohos in that great country. You won't believe when you see those things, foreigners are surprised, but in India such erotic things are there. Wherever there is religion, wherever there is a thing, satanic have to reach there, to destroy all that. That is their time, there has been like this. This is the crucifixion of the few. As such temples were created, and those tantrikas then came forward. They brought about all their methods. Say for Konark Shivo, there is a Chausan Bhavani Mandir, they call it, the 64 goddesses. Imagine goddesses temple. Now what do they do? Now what is the principle behind all that? You must know. It's a very secretive principle that they use. They establish a picture of a goddess or a statue of a goddess in a temple. And before the goddess they do their vichara, means sex acts, of different varieties, of different types, all types. In the beginning, Sri Ganesha gets angry. They get all kinds of blisters all around. They say that Kundalini is angry. Kundalini, why will she be angry? It is Sri Ganesha who is angry, but she will jump up, false and right and left, and they get all blisters. They start dancing, jumping, they behave like frogs. They have horrid faces. They get blackness in the head, they get headache, everything else. But still, they are adamant. Because it is said that you have to go further. It's a terrible task. It's a difficult task. These are your karmas that are coming to torture you. You have to take out your karmas. You yourself to do better karmas or bad karmas. So they go on working. Then, by that, beyond that, what happens is they sleep. They go away from that. The area is witnessed. The realm of God from there disappears. As light disappears, the darkness. They work in the night. They never work in the daytime. In the night they work. And then they call the spirits. You can call it. Last time I told you what happens to you when you die and how the spirits are there and what are the horrible spirits that are hanging around who enter into it. So I will not go into details of that. But later on I will tell you all about it. I will tell you each and everything. You note it down. So they come to call the spirits. When they call these spirits are dusty and crazy, dissatisfied. And they maneuver them. They can give them the name of the Rama, the Ain, Dream, all sorts of names they can give to these men. These evil geniuses manage them. And then they put these spirits on kings, onto these ministers. These people are captured and possessed. And they feel we have very energetic. We are running after, we used to run after only 2 women, now we are running after 100 women. Mad. They lose all their sense of self. They have no understanding of what they are doing. Like vanity. Even some saints can be affected, but they get reactions physically. Saints, if they indulge in immediately they get reactions. They get reactions in the head, in the body, and the reaction could be very strong on them. Sometimes they vomit blood. So these people start putting those horrible spirits on you, capturing you, taking out your life. In India, there was a tantrika like that, who a masked lot of money, but his wife he threw out, and he built that horrible temple of that Konark. If he had not put any erotic there, it would have been a beautiful temple. But with that erotic machinery, vomiting all the time when you see. I mean, if you are a thirsty, you just can't bear to see those private parts, the way it is. Tomorrow they will ask us to watch these people sitting down there for the morning ablation. Filth and filth and filth. The whole place is nothing but filth. And then his own son defiled him, this horrible Tantrika. The Tantrika was killed in a very funny manner. It was worth reading how he was. And the son came down and he completed that temple, but he told the king that your kingdom will disappear. All these kings disappeared once for all. They had no children, they had nothing, and they became just shambles. And all of their temples were covered with stones, earth, and they were just mounds. Later on the English came there, and some of them excavated and found out. They found it artistic, I don't know how they found it, but it was there. But in Konarak you will find the whole thing is so good, so fun. Where the artist's poor things had nothing to say. And I met the artists of that place who are living around. They said, we are paying through our nose all these days for what our forefathers have done, and we don't want to see that. Even today in India, an unmarried man and an unmarried woman will never go to see a Konarak. Now the only explanation they have is this: you'll be amazed that after marriage, Indian women are so innocent and they're married quite young, they don't understand what is said. So teach them how what is said is made for the marriage. And only the husband wife should know that. This is the only explanation our Indian artists could find out to give for them. But we have to accept. You see, in every country there could be a satanic force there. Why should we identify ourselves with those horrible tantrikas? And why should we be ashamed of them? In Khajuraho, the other tantric place, you will find there are some places where you will find Vedantika. But if you are alert and if you watch, these are places corners somewhere. While the gods and goddesses are big form, but very big and they are short circuits. So it never comes to your notice unless until you are taken to it and shown now this is a Viratika. But surprisingly, most of the foreigners, especially Japanese, bring their camera from this angle. Why don't they take their own photographs like that? What is there to go all the way to Konarak to take those photographs? Shows your search. Shows what you are asking for. The way from here people take all the way those big cameras and go down and take photographs like Indian sites they do. What is there to take photographs in that? What is there to give? Sex, animals know, everybody knows, dog knows. What is there to teach about sex? You have done so much of mentally that now there will be importance and is there, you know that. In America, the highest number of portraits are there. Because of this kind of perversion and ruining your innocence within yourself. Beware. The so-called freedom is nothing but abandonment of your sustenance of your dharma that is within you. It is built in. It is there. It exists. You cannot cross it. Thou shalt not adultery. Christ has said not only adultery, but I will say thou shalt not have adulterous eyes. And you see people all the time there. And they say we are intention. What will happen? Where are you looking? Where are you seeing? Where is your attention? This human attention built up ages. So much has been worked. You have been brought from that level to this level today. Where are you placed? Into gutters, into filth, into dirt. Right. And see your glory. Have that self-respect. As a mother, I tell you. And these horrible tantrikas and mantrikas who are teaching you all kinds of things, like putting a mandala, the other day somebody told me, and putting your sex there. What is a mandala? Do you know it's the aura of God? You are showing your sex to God. have some brain practice is nothing else. It's the greatest shameful thing. You are doing this to show your sex parts to God. Are you all mad? Can't you understand? It's a terrible thing. I get upset with those because you don't know. You will lose all your chances of realization. Your thinking is going to be lost completely, believe me. Stand in your own. Why should you run after women? Why should you run after men? If you are a glorious person, stand in your own image. That's the best way. You are going to be a human being. This kind of licentiousness and permissiveness is going to completely finish that chakra in the navi. You see that one has got 10 centers which are built so delicately, beautifully with love. Do not confuse love with licentious behavior. It is not. It's sanctified love. I don't say you become sannyasi, not at all. I'm against that. Also another extreme. That I'm going to tell you about sexo yogi, the third type. The sexo yogi type are the people who are suppressing their things. They do not matter. They use the skull of humanity. They need skull for that. To be in the subconscious, you have to have a skull. So they kill people, take out their skull and keep it with them. Some people are coming with broken bones. So they keep those skulls with them, and those skulls, they use it for drinking water, for eating food. All the time the skulls are present. Now, there is a very good story written by a great writer in India, Bankim Chandra, known as Kapal. This girl, there was a girl whom a Kapalika had. He used to make her nude, he used to make her dance, he used to make her go in the sea, and he used to control his senses in the sea. And there are other ways also, even in the sexual act, he would control them. He went on like that, and ultimately he was to see that girl. That is the height of complete abstinence, because you have killed the person whom you were supposed to have. Just what fortune, what brain, what habit. I mean, there's limit to this. God has not given you freedom to break your head and to say that, oh, will come and hit me. And this girl was preserved. And then somehow or other she ran away and she got married to a man. He visited her, brought her back and killed her. These are the kapas. If you don't listen to them, they will take you to the smashana, that is the burial ground, cut your head, take out your skull, and keep it. They would see to it that you go to the subconscious state, and they handle you better there. They would like to die through their they marry. They do it. So many of them are doing like that. Even today you have no idea. And people are so much enamored, so much under the obsession of these things are, that if you tell them that your gurus are doing like this and that, found out, still they will be there to keep it. Absolutely radically, they are possessed, brainwashed completely. At least some people should be saved to say this. I always say that if a sari is flying out, even if you should hold a little bit of it, it until the sari. The sanity must come to you to understand that these horrible methods are never going to give you self-realization. You must know what self-realization is. Now some people think that flying in the air, jumping somewhere, is something else. Which incarnation did you hear any incarnation who walked, who sat like this and was floating in the air? Which incarnation is that? And what are you going to do with floating in the air? You are going to create a problem on the traffic. This nonsensical thing, why should it? There is in Pune, they said there is one saint to die, see, and there is a stone. They said 10 people take the name of the saint, it can come out. And you can put a finger, it can come out. I said, is that what God should do? Think about it. And when I went there, I found out that there was a big spirit sitting there. And he said, I'm going to sit down here, mother, I'm not going to go out. And the spirit of that horrible fellow is all the time sitting there. It doesn't want him. It just wants to be fool people and sit down there and listen everybody taking evening. Calling him a saint. When he is not a saint, why should we accept that he is a saint and be happy with it? Because human beings can do anything. They have given that power. And moreover, God is powerless before you because he cannot take away your freedom to be idiot or to be foolish or to be self-destroyed. He cannot do it. He can only weep and cry and beg us, please don't do it, please don't do it. But he cannot stop it. That's the only problem. And that's why all of them have taken. They have all come from somewhere like sky. At least I know 16 of them. And 3 horrible women. They are out there making money. Befooling you. Why do you need a guru for telling you a mantra? Any dictum has can tell you. You must see the result. The proof, what's happening out here. You must think you are intelligent people. You understand everything. Why don't you understand this? Are you possessed? Are you under the complete obsession of such people? Or perhaps you have paid them so much money that you think, oh, how we have paid so much now, but we should see through the whole thing. Like in the drama, you go and you don't like the drama, still we have paid the money in the past. It's not that casual. It's a very serious thing. You are going into the den of devils. Finishing your Kundalini completely, now there are 25 people among you who will say, it has happened to them. I've been correcting them. I'm doing it. They get it back. I only feel sorry for one, that you have been genuine about yourself. You have been genuinely speaking, and I can assure you that I went to America in 1970 to warn all these people, but that time they went, all of them had become something special type of puzzle. They would not listen to me. I told Ravi Shankar, he said, Mother, you just don't go near them. They will eat you up. They are out to have experiences of South Sudan. Drugs. In India, how many people have seen the drugs after? Any one of them. Do they even know what is the difference between bhang and this and that? These drugs and all these things were used by government. And they are out here. They have given you thing that goes against your awareness, whether drugs, alcohol, anything, is not going to give you that higher awareness about each other. Don't waste your life. It's very precious. The most precious and the greatest times have come. Please respect yourself. And please understand your learning. What you are learning for. Find it out. And do not waste it. You have already wasted a lot of your time. All these, I told you the 7 step-ups. On the left and right have names which happen. Just now I have no time to tell you, but there are names and names and names for everything. Hakini, Rakini, Dakini, Shakini, like that on the left hand side they have one. This side is Gayatri and Savitri and all that sort of thing. It goes on both the sides. All these are nothing but like resonance. They throw you from one to another. You are sort of tested in every step. And when they found you are boundless, you go direct into them. These are the achievements. So I have to make a very simple statement that keep yourself, respect yourself, try. If it works with you, you are able. I am willing to work with it. The raising of the Kundalini, the bringing it out of it, you yourself will be able to do after some time. But cleansing is needed, and it should not be given. Because there is no way out. Nanak, Guru Nanak, he has written at least 3-4 chapters against Tantrikas and Mantrikas and Vaishnavikas and Jainas. In India it is an abuse to say, I have first time used these words on my tongue. It's an abuse to call somebody like that. If you say that to someone, then the people say, oh, they are kept outside like lepers. Kabira has written books after books, these cateries and this and that, and left and right. He was a great warrior. Everybody scorched him, tortured him. Christ was the same. He is the one who says not to go towards spirits at all. This is all spirit's job. But you go in London, every 5th house is a spiritualist sitting there. Free hypnotist. Why do you want to get hypnotized? Why do you want to get it? EA is what they call extrasensory perception. All these so-called geniuses also, prodigies, are also possessed. I've seen many prodigies. One of them came to me, I told him, all right, in my presence, you calculate. She could not calculate even once, because I took a bandhan to her. Possession, I said, get out of it. I've had many such experiences which I can tell you. Last time I told you how people who are possessed came to me and how they did. Now, there is still time, and we can go into self-realization experience. It might take some people only 5 minutes, but some more. In any case, you must have patience. And don't be angry. Because when Ravi says ego, I will why I will say. Because if it is not ego, then the super ego comes. We are the worst people, we are the horrible people, the one excuse. You have to stand in between. You have no need. You are not an aggressor, neither you take any aggression from it. You stand in yourself, and through that you end your own powers. You don't have to depend on anyone. No, it just goes. But you have to depend on the deities that are within you, which have gone to see there has been a problem, they have to be corrected, and you have to know where are the deities, where are they. In the Sahaja Yoga, modern Sahaja Yoga, there is no mantra given. No, because every second the Kundalini is going like that. Now there are people who say, this one can tell you, this can tell you. It is there, it's not that you must have seen, she came to me, she said, Mother, ask that man, or ask it. So nobody is given a mantra, but you know where is the catch. You yourself say, she herself never told me ask what an agya. And you know, mostly extreme agya catching means what you know, paranoia. But she doesn't mind telling me because she sees herself away from herself. And she told me I've got an agya clearing. All of this is out there, I can see those coming inside me. He told me that I can see these entities now coming into me and I throw them away, and they have a nice program. If you have talked to them, they will tell you their experiences. Some of them, when you can't have to take them out, so many things happen now. People just like you who came to me, I came. And you also came. But this sensible is why. Why? You have to accept things. And nothing is important. So may God bless you. We can go into a little meditation just by putting your hands socially. And if you could take out your feet, it would be better. It works better. Because the Mother Earth, she helps also. All the elements help. They are all around. Feet was very cold and just feet. At this time it's not cold enough. All the elements are there to help. It was extremely cold. And now it's so nice. You can take out your coat and you feel cold. There isn't cold at all. You can feel very comfortable and it's very nice to be